This is Urso. Urso bought a shampoo this morning because the bottle said it was hormone-friendly, which is not a thing. He also owns 11 products that never mention hormones at all, and those are the ones we need to talk about. Because here is a claim you have definitely seen: the stuff in your bathroom is messing with your hormones. And this is one of those rare times where the scary version is half right, and the half that is right is not the half people scream about.
I'm just a nice smell, sweetheart.
Every few months, someone posts a photo of a shampoo bottle with words circled in red, and the caption says these chemicals mimic your hormones. That word, mimic, is doing enormous work. It is technically true. It is also how you get people throwing out a bottle of lotion while spraying something far worse on their neck. So let's do this properly. What actually talks to your hormones? How loudly? And does any of it matter at the dose a human being actually uses? First, how the system works, because everything depends on it. Your hormones are messages. A hormone travels through your blood until it finds a receptor shaped to receive it, like a key finding a lock. Key fits, message delivered, body does the thing.
Morning. Got a delivery for a thyroid? Come on in.
The receptor is not clever. It does not check identification. It checks shape. And that is the entire vulnerability, because anything shaped close enough can walk up and hand over a message your body never sent.
Hi, I'm also a hormone, definitely.
Come on in.
That is what an endocrine disruptor is, not poison, a forged message. Which brings us to the ingredient that gets shouted about the most and deserves it the least: parabens. Parabens are preservatives. They stop your face cream from growing a science project. And yes, they are estrogenic. They do fit the lock. The viral post is not lying. Here is what the viral post leaves out. Compared with the estrogen your own body makes, parabens are somewhere between 10,000 and 2.5 million times weaker.
I'm doing my best.
Methylparaben, the most common one, has almost no estrogen activity at all. It fits the lock the way a wet noodle fits a lock. Parabens have been used for over 20 years, and in humans, at real-world doses, the case that they cause harm is mostly unproven. The stronger ones, butyl and propyl, are worth more caution, and regulators are watching them, but the panic is aimed at the wrong shelf. Because the thing that actually earns the worry is standing right next to it, wearing sunglasses.
Don't look at me. Look at the preservative.
Phthalates. In cosmetics, the main ones are DEP, which makes fragrance last longer, and DBP, which stops nail polish cracking.
I just didn't want to chip.
These are not weak. Phthalates are genuinely anti-androgenic, meaning they interfere with testosterone signaling. In animal studies, they lower testosterone and the hormones upstream of it, and that is a well-established effect, not a maybe. And they are everywhere. When researchers test urine, they find phthalate metabolites in nearly everyone. Now, where does this actually matter? Because detected in everyone is not the same as harming everyone. We learned that lesson with microplastics. The strongest human evidence points at one window: pregnancy.
Excuse me, what?
Studies have linked phthalate exposure during pregnancy to a measurable difference in male infants, a shorter anogenital distance, which is a marker doctors use for how androgen signaling went during development. That is a real signal in humans, not a rat under a lamp. It does not mean anything is wrong with those babies. It means the message got slightly garbled during the part of life when messages matter most.
I would like to switch products immediately.
And that is the honest shape of this whole topic. For a pregnant body, and for small growing ones, this is worth acting on. For an adult who is not pregnant, it is a reasonable thing to reduce and a terrible thing to panic about. Now, the science bite, because it is genuinely interesting. Toxicology has a rule, everyone quotes, the dose makes the poison. More of a thing means more harm, less means less. Hormone science says, not necessarily. Your body runs on doses so small they are almost unimaginable, and it is built to respond to tiny signals. Some researchers argue endocrine disruptors can do things at low doses that you would never predict from high doses. But before anyone builds a religion on that, the Danish center that studies these chemicals reviewed the claim and concluded those weird low-dose effects are real, but far less common than campaigners say, and a lot of the evidence comes from cells in a dish rather than living animals. So the honest position is annoying and correct. The dose still mostly makes the poison, but hormones are the one place where that rule gets shaky. Neither side gets to use this as a trump card. Here is the part that surprised me most, and it argues against the conspiracy version of this story. Regulators did move. The European Union has restricted a list of cosmetic ingredients over endocrine concerns, with the rules landing in 2027, and several of the stronger parabens were restricted years ago. And exposure actually fell. Biomonitoring shows levels of the worst phthalates dropping since the mid-2000s in multiple countries after regulation. Which tells you two useful things. This was taken seriously by people whose job it is, and these things leave when you stop topping them up. So what do you actually do? This is the part where I usually tell you the good option is cheap. Today it is cheap and it is tested. Researchers took a group of teenagers and swapped their personal care products for versions labeled free of phthalates and parabens. 3 days later, they measured their urine. Levels dropped, some by nearly half.
3 days. I'm very good at my job.
3 days. No cleanse, no supplement, no detox tea. Your kidneys were always going to handle it. They just needed you to stop reapplying. So, in order. 1. The single highest value word on a label is fragrance, or parfum. It is a legal black box that can hide a mixture the company never has to list, and it is the most common home of phthalates in your bathroom. 2. Buy fragrance-free, not unscented. Unscented often means they added another chemical to mask the smell. Fragrance-free means they left it out. 3. Prioritize by person, not by product. Pregnant or buying for a small child. Worth doing properly. Everyone else, reduce the sprayed and perfumed things and get on with your life.
Or buy my $40 hormone-safe serum.
No.
It's natural?
Clean, natural, and chemical-free are not regulated words. They mean whatever the label wants them to mean. A cheap fragrance-free moisturizer beats an expensive one with perfume in it every single time. And now, the honest ending. Nothing in your bathroom is going to shout at your hormones. That is not how any of this works, and if a video tells you otherwise, it is selling you something, probably in a brown glass bottle. What some of these ingredients do is whisper. A weak message in a system that was built to listen carefully. Most of the time, your body ignores it. During pregnancy, during childhood, when the messages are building an entire person, whispers count for more. And here is why I think this topic goes wrong so often. People want a villain list. Medicine, and honestly the internet, is very good at pointing at one molecule and very bad at saying, it depends who you are and when and how much. Urso threw out a perfectly good bottle of lotion and then sprayed cologne on his neck twice a day. He did the dramatic thing and skipped the one that mattered. Again. He didn't need a cleaner bathroom, he needed to read one word. So check the label for fragrance, skip the detox, let your kidneys do their job, and step into the light. If this was useful, subscribe, so Urso doesn't have to learn everything the hard way. Again,